China present any interest for Ukraine in its problem, in its aim to reduce the tensions with Russia?
China, in fact, does not recognize any aggressive act or annexation of Russia. It, in principle, supports the territorial integrity of Ukraine, and if there is a possibility that China can influence Russian behavior, we would be glad to use it.
There are contacts with Ukrainian, Chinese contacts on this issue, or do you think this could be a scenario, a realistic scenario in the near future? Contacts with the Chinese, with China on this issue.
We stay.
You have, or maybe you could have.
We remain constantly in dialogue with Chinese partners in the framework of international organizations and bilaterally, and we communicate and discuss these issues, of their support of these decisions.
It's possible to have
that U.S. support Ukraine, but in return Ukraine must fight against corruption and implement rule of law principles. What can you say about this process, this Western requirement to fight against corruption in Ukraine?
Well, this is not only a request, it's also one of the key reformist approaches inside Ukraine, and these are the same goals that Ukrainian society needs. So our partners, and in fact corruption is the huge problem not only in Ukraine, it's a trend in Europe and globally to fight corruption, because corruption feeds forces that attack the democracies, and we see this big trend, global trend of the competition between authoritarian states and forces and democratic forces, and corruption is one of the key instruments of this competition. So it's important for Ukraine, very important, because we have inherited this ineffective democracy in Ukraine culture, so we need to change that. And of course, corruption is among key threats to Ukrainian security and future, and we all understand that this is important not only for President Biden, but for every Ukrainian citizen and government.
What would be the role and the place of Ukraine-Romania partnership in your bigger strategy regarding the Crimean problem, and also regarding the Black Sea region?
Well, that's very correct. At this stage, we have support of every neighbor and every our key partner in the region. So nearly every partner will be represented in this in the summit and in the activities of the Commune platform afterwards. And we expect that Romanian government will also take part in the summit on the highest level. It's really a key, because Crimea, as I described it at the beginning, is not only the problem of Ukraine, it's the problem for the whole wider Black Sea region in terms of security, freedom of navigation, economic and ecological consequences. And Romania is in this state also, which is our partner in taking care of these security threats which are emanating from the militarization of Crimea, and they have different aspects of that. So this is the first priority, and the second priority is our partnership with Romania. We want to develop it, and we see that the countering Russian aggression in different forms, including Crimea, is our common foreign policy goal.
And also, what is your expectations from the signing of this accord regarding this technical military accord with Romania, which is in fact the main expectation of Ukraine from this kind of partnership?
What type of agreement do you mean?
Technical military agreement, which was signed and was voted also in the parliament in Romania. It's a sort of larger agreement.
I think you should talk about that with our bilateral department because I'm not aware of details of this agreement.
Okay. And then can you tell us something more regarding the current situation at your border with Russia after the military build-up in spring? Which is the situation now from your perspective, from Kiev's perspective?
Well, in fact, if you look at the numbers, nothing really changed, and Russia declared the withdrawal of their forces, but this withdrawal was very tiny, and we have these military threats of escalation. They have remained all over the border. And we expect that this high threat will last at least until autumn, until September, where large military exercises will be held by Russia and its partners in this region.
Did you notice an increase in fake news and propaganda war after the military build-up or during that period here in Ukraine?
Of course, immediately in April and May, that was really something that could be called this hybrid aggression, because it was developing at multiple layers, starting with the military build-up and including the aggressive disinformation campaigns in Ukraine and outside of Ukraine. We have seen the blockage of some sea regions near the Kerch Strait, and they still are closed at this time being by the Russian Federation at the pretext of the military exercises over there. So we see immediate threat to the freedom of navigation through the Kerch Strait and Azov Sea, and this is the tactics of economic pressure on the southern regions of Ukraine through ports, which a significant amount of our export is coming through the southern ports.
I've heard voices here in Kiev, for example, who made a link between Vladimir Putin's letter regarding the Ukrainians and the Russians and the launching of this Crimean platform. I've heard other voices who told that there was nothing new in this document. What is your assessment on this issue?
That was an article by President Putin, and I personally have not seen something new in this article, because it's a long-term narrative by Mr. Putin and Russian government about something which I would call nostalgia for the Soviet times.
Thank you.
I don't.